setting up.
There we go. So it's over to Ian and Criggion. Oh, the 85 circuit rebuild for 5317. Yeah.
Right, just hang on. Let me right. Let me just open this up. You always seem to get boxes where you don't want boxes, don't you? Honestly. Let's see if I can increase the size of this a little bit. What do we got? 50%. How do I actually? How do I bring that down? Sorry, I'm just messing around here. Right. Okay. You are sharing the screen. I've got a new PC with a small screen in it, can everybody see that reasonably well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's a bit too big actually. Hang on a second. Right. Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. My name's Robert. Just over 10 years ago, I made the silly mistake of buying one of the 4 transmitter buildings that actually comprised a Criggion radio station. Now Criggion was a backup to Rugby, GBR, in case it got bombed, because it provided communications. The VLF specifically for the Trident and the Polaris fleet, and it transmitted on 15.98 kilohertz, and Criggion VLF was a GBZ call sign. This journal, Post Office Electrical Engineers Journal that I've got here, which is rather difficult to see. It's a little bit on the small side. That's better. It actually there's about 12 to 14 pages of information about it. But the important thing on this is the little map that we've got here. The site was chosen because there was a lack of towers, and they were able to actually find 3 600-foot towers, and they built it by the Bryden Hill, which has got a 900 feet in the height. It's on the floodplain of the River Severn, because for VLF and LF you need a good ground wave, so you need nice conductive soil. So they located it there. And if you draw a triangle between Oswestry, Welshpool, and Shrewsbury, and put a pin in the middle, that's approximately where the site is. You can see here. This is the Bryden Hill here. The original antenna for VLF had a couple of anchorages, one there and one there, and you can see there's 2 equilateral triangles there, which were the antennas. The actual VLF building is where can you see the hand? Yeah. Does that show up on your screens? Yeah. That's where the VLF transmitter is, and I am there, or the site there. There were also 2 other sites. They were built in 1941-42. They actually went operational. The VLF went operational on the September 1942. I'm not sure. There's a lot less information about the LF site, which we now sometimes call a medium wave site, but it was about the same time. There were also 2 other sites, shortwave A and shortwave B, of which you can see the rhombics there. That was shortwave A there, which is a bit down the road, and much further off was another one, almost identical site, a much bigger building than mine, which was shortwave B, and between shortwave A and shortwave B, there were about 60 circuits that were actually provided for commercial use, and also the VLF was actually funded by the Admiralty. So that's how it was funded. You can see here's the River Severn here. So this is the floodplain of the River Severn, and this dotted line here is something called is the Argy, which is basically a mud dam which was built because the site flooded so badly. When the River Severn gets up to 7 meters, the water pours over there, and it turns the well, it is the correct use of a floodplain. So that's the way it was. So that shows you where approximately where it is, and I've now got to see if I can actually move on to the next photograph. I have to move this. How do I move that? Hang on a minute. So I'm struggling to fly this. There we go. Okay, so that's the and there's about 8 or 9 pages. This was 1946, I think this article was written, and it gives a lot of technical details. This is the building, the Criggion LF building, which is the one that we're mainly going to talk about, although it does cross over into VLF and also shortwave A and B, because they're both quite interesting. But this was the building. This was specifically designed to actually for one transmitter and a backup transmitter, and it was an Admiralty Type 22C 40 kilowatt LF transmitter. If you look carefully, right on the right hand corner, right hand edge, you'll see a winch which was replaced much later on, and you'll also notice there's a chimney, and the chimney was removed, although I've partly rebuilt it. And you'll also notice from the later photographs there's a thing that looks like a greenhouse stuck on the top, which was a much later modification in the 1970s, 1970, 74, 75, I think. So that is that was taken in the early 1940s. This one, 43, 44, I think. That is how it was when I bought it. You can see it's significantly changed. All the gutterings have been replaced with box sections. You can actually walk in the gutter, and you can also see there's a thing on the top there that looks like a greenhouse, which was installed late in the 70s as well. And you'll also notice that the chimney has gone. But the last of the towers came down in 2003, and it was then left for many years and got badly vandalized. All the windows got smashed, all the copper got taken out, the lead got taken out, and it was into a real state of dereliction. So that's the state I bought it in, from Telewheel, who actually bought all 4 buildings and land that went with it. There's the actual radio station sits on about 3/4 of an acre to an acre, and there's 2.5 acres of field round side. So there's actually about 3.5 acres of ground surrounding the radio station. And if you do have any questions, please ask away as we move on. Right. These are just a few photographs of how badly vandalized it was, and you can also see that this is the back of the radio station, and you can see that the guttering, which has rotted really badly, because it's just badly. Well, it wasn't maintained very well to start off with, and it's all rotted. So a lot of this has been replaced. Right. From the front, that's what it looks like. My car and my motorbike. this was before I planted an awful lot of trees, but it's got the original windows in the downstairs. There was where my car is. There was a big grill in there which I replaced with a window. And this is that actually is the boiler room, and it's where I'm actually talking to you from now. You'll notice that the steps going up to the door, and you'll see that there's a black border at the bottom of the building. That is the floor level, and when the River Severn floods and it goes over the top of the Argy at 7 meters, all the tarmac that you can see there floods. But to date, fortunately, touch wood, it's never flooded to floor level. But and there are rooms outside around the side of the building which are at ground level, and they do actually flood. So I have to, everything that I put in there, I have to put on blocks or lift it at least a couple of feet off the ground. Oops, Daisy. Hang on. I'm not sure that tonight. I want to see if I can actually increase the size of this. It's not being very helpful. It's not a very good photograph. That I normally on my other PC I'd be able to actually increase the size of that, but that is the this is in the death throes. There's a skip there which was ready to take all the copper away, transformers and stuff. This is a 700-foot mast, which is part of the VLF. There were actually 3 of these actually on the site, which was a 400-acre site. This has got an elevator in, and there's a few more photographs of this a little bit later on. That's about it really. So that was it's just as it was being decommissioned. Early in the originally there was only a single transmitter installed, and much later on they actually installed a couple of Marconi transmitters, and there was the requirement to actually put a third transmitter in. And what they did was they took one of the windows out of the back, and as you can see, they've actually installed a third antenna port in the back of the building, and that was the Busby van telecom as it was then, installing another antenna, and you can see one of the 600-foot towers sticking out the top of the radio station, and you can also see that there's quite a big transformer there, which is long gone now. This is a photograph of the radio station taken from across the other side of the road, which is the VLF station. So that's they were exactly opposite each other, and if you stood on the outside the radio station or by the door and looked straight across, you look straight into the door of the VLF building, which we'll talk about a little bit further on. But unfortunately, with a 700-foot mast, you can never see the top of it. It's always off view, I'm afraid. But that's as it was when it was being decommissioned. This is a picture taken in 1944-45. You can see the blackout curtains. You can also see the rather cute lighting, really Art Deco, and that is the transmitter. That is a Type 22C transmitter, 40 kilowatt LF, and that particular one, the 22C, had demountable valves, which basically meant you could actually take the valves to bits, replace the heaters, then pump the vacuum down again recommission them. What else? Blackout curtains. You'll see. Oh, you just about see it there, but there's a radiator there, one of the old-fashioned cast iron radiators. It was actually heated, the building, by steam boilers, which is where I am at the moment. But unfortunately, every time it flooded, it in the winter, it used to put the fire out because the boiler was in the lower part of the building at floor level, and it just extinguished the boiler, the steam boiler. This map here shows the position of the this is the VLF site here. Can you all see this reasonably well, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I normally on my other PC I can actually zoom in, but it doesn't seem to be letting me do that at the moment. But anyway, this is GBZ, the VLF transmitter. This is one of the 600-foot towers here. This road here is called Back Lane. And this is Criggion LF, the one that I'm speaking to you from now. There's a slightly better map than this, actually. I'll also go on to talk a little bit about the HF buildings because they are quite interesting. Now, what exactly did it do? Well, of course, the VLF was operating on 16 kilohertz mainly, or 15.98 kilohertz, running at 50 or 75 baud CW, and it was basically sending TTY to the Navy, mainly submarines. For deploying our nuclear deterrent. So of course it was a target. The Russians probably had it in their sights. The LF site had in its heyday provided 6 circuits. In fact, sometimes even 12 circuits. Independent sideband. From three transmitters. Originally, of course, just one transmitter with a backup, but just before it was decommissioned, it had some Marconi LF transmitters in it, which you'll probably see in a little bit. There's a road. This here goes right the way through from Back Lane. There's a bit of an approach road into the enclosure. This has got 12-foot barbed wire all the way around it, and then there's a gate out to the back, and this goes down. And if you follow this down, it goes to a substation, and 11,000 and 33,000 volts was brought to the at this site at this point. Originally at 11,000 volts, when they were keying the transmitter on GBZ, the big transmitter, which was consuming best part of a megawatt, it was actually modulating the mains, and the people in the telephone exchange could actually hear the keying on the telephone exchange. So they had to upgrade the circuits from 11,000 volts to 33,000 volts. Of course, it was encrypted in any case, so you couldn't actually, if you knew Morse, you couldn't actually read what was going on anyway. And it was as I say, it was 75 baud, or well 50, 60 or 75, and I'm not quite sure which one they used and when the changeover was. This is a Shropshire Star telling us sold in a mystery deal. There was no mystery about it. There were the 4 sites were sold privately. and the sale for this one fell through for what reason I don't know, and I bought it on the rebound, but the people that bought Shortwave A, which stupidly got renamed to Shortwave B after 50 years, they've got steam engines. I call them the steam engine people. They've got a lot more buildings. Shortwave B, which then became Shortwave A, is now provides acoustic enclosures. It was bought by Peter Keeling, who's now retired, and they are the studio people, and they provide acoustic enclosures and also acoustic modification to big concert halls and stuff like that. They specialize in acoustic damping and stuff like that. And the one across the road was bought by a young lad called Chris Moore, who is now running more engineering from that. So all the 4 sites are in private hands. And I bought, as I say, I bought mine on the rebound. And I bought mine about 6 months after the other 3 were actually bought for sense, quite cheaply as well. This is just shows you the VLF site, and you can see one of the antenna ports there, and this is a cage feeder which is going out here, and also you can also see one of the 600-foot towers. I'm very disappointed with the way that these coming out, because not normally when you run it that's better. It's enlarged. You can see it now. There's the port, and I'll show you that in the when we go inside the building. And there's the feeder there, going off to one of the masts. Hang on, let's have a look. This is just a shot of inside one of the transmitters, which oh god, dear, it's a bit too clever for me. This that's inside the one of the output stages in one of the last of the Marconi transmitters. This is as it was being decommissioned, and you can see all the huge capacitors up there. These are 40 kilowatt Marconis, and that actually shows you how big the tuning coils are. That is an unknown Marconi transmitter. That one was different. I'm not sure at what stage, whether that was one of the final ones, but there were basically 3 Marconi transmitters, and this one was different from all the other ones. And you can see the tuning coils just sticking out the top of the racks there. These are the other Marconi. Does anybody recognise those Marconi transmitters? They're HS81s. That's 40 kilowatt LF. What you can see here, this here is where the antennas are. There were 3 antenna ports similar to this. One here, one over exactly opposite side of the building, and the one that you saw that was being installed with those yellow vans. So there were actually three LF transmitters, all 40 kilowatts, and as you can see, the main problem was the tuning coils were particularly large, which is why the transmitters were so big as well. Another view of the transmitter. This site was remotely operated, and as you can see that they've got a CCTV camera in there. This is the VF equipment where the lines come in, and this is all safety cages to protect people from the high voltage RF. the original transmitter, the Type 22C, unfortunately, many years ago, somebody actually died in this building. They actually cooked. What happened was they were undertaking maintenance work on the transmitter, the single transmitter in here, and I'm not sure exactly why they didn't do it, but they didn't properly earth the antenna that was feeding out, and a guy sat on something, and the induced voltage from the VLF transmitter actually caused them to cook. And somebody said someone's left a frying pan on in the restroom. Can somebody go and check it? And it wasn't. I'm afraid it was this maintenance tech who basically died. Just a few more photographs of the buzz bars and the connection to the tuning coils. This is one of the tuning coils when all the copper had been taken off. So that just shows you how big the tuning coils are. This is for 60 kilohertz basically at that sort of power at 40 kilowatts. So all the copper. What happened to the actual form? Those formers, I haven't got a clue. Somebody made something out of them, I'm sure. This was the decommissioning, and you can see some of the big three-phase transformers there, and again some of the coil rings. And the door that you can see there was badly vandalized, and I've only just recently replaced it with a steel one actually. This is one of the winches that they used to actually control the antennas, mainly the VLF transmitter. In fact, there were 4 of these mounted on plinths, and there's a plinth outside, and I've got my 60-foot tower sitting on the big concrete plinth. It just shows you. This is at the back of the. There were 3 700-foot masts, and this is the one that was at the back of the radio station. You can see the footings. They're hexagonal footings, and you can see the concrete ramps, and there's an elevator in it for maintenance. Absolutely, there's some good better photographs on my website than I've got here actually. It seems to have shrunk them down. This is another one of the winches, and this shows you the 3 other 600-foot towers, and in the distance over here is the VLF, and this is the tuning coil for the tuning coil room for the VLF. This one winch is quite a way away, mainly because of the length of the antennas. This one, as you can see, is quite a long way away from. It must be best part of a kilometre away from the VLF building. But there were 4 of these, and there was one winch up on the top of the hill. Although initially they had 2 winches on the top of the Bryden Hill to actually tension the antennas. This shows you that the base of the 700-foot masts. They weighed 490 tons, and it just shows you how substantial the bottom of the mast are. And another view of the radio station. I've planted a few apple trees here. You can see the fencing, the fencing during the Second World War. Of course, they had security guards and picket posts, and it was well secured by the army. But it was much later, the 1970s, when the work was done. The actual pebble dash was put on, and this greenhouse thing, which got so badly damaged, was added. But it does make the building very nice and light inside. This was this concrete, these two concrete lumps. The far one was where one of the winches sat, and this was just a special concrete. They call them a boist for actually running the cables, but the metal work has actually gone off the top of it. Just a few photographs of the LF antenna and the caged feeder going up to one of the 700-foot masts. And of course, as I said, there were three antennas and three 700-foot masts, which was a later modification. This just shows you the some of the junk I've got inside. The points to show here. This is the door that comes into the main transmitter hall. You can see here. This is one of the antenna ports, and from there across. All this space here, right over to the other side, was where the Type 22C transmitter sat, and all this was actually blocked up by the so that you couldn't go and walk into the PA stage. Going back now, black and white. And the same treatment for the VLF. This is the VLF building, looking from the step of the LF site, and it just shows you how massive those 600-foot towers are. And this here is one of the picket posts for the security. The road runs across here, so back lane runs across here. This is where the transmitter is actually housed for the VLF. The coil room is there, and that there is the valve store. And this is Criggion Quarry, which if you look out the window now, is significantly half the mountain seems to have virtually gone. You'd be absolutely amazed. This is another photograph. That was taken, and you can see they've taken all the stuff out of the main building. They haven't taken the antennas down yet. You can see a lot of wires going down here, which was to actually reduce the level of RF radiation, and also to actually try and modify the beam pattern for the LF antenna. Here's the winch here, VLF here, and the coil room, and this is the other side. You've all seen the one side, and this is the second antenna port from the building. Oh God! Yeah. I'm gonna have to go through this again. I'm afraid this. Oh, yeah, we've seen this. I'm struggling here to let's excuse me. I'm sorry about this. Right. Yeah, that's pretty well. Most of the I think it's come to the end of it now. So that's why it's done that. The coils, that's pretty much right. I'm now going to go into a different right. So that was the majority of the photograph. I'm just going to try and I'm just going to stop sharing for a second so I can actually find out where the other files are now. Excuse me. Because I'm using the cloud, and it's I'm struggling a minute for the minute. Let's have a look, see if I can find it. Shut that down. Hang on a second. OneDrive. It doesn't always give me access when I want it. This folder is empty. No, it isn't. Oh dear. Who wants this? Sorry about this, guys. This will be hopefully it'll be a quickie. This. Begin reading rate. Oh dear, I can't find what I'm looking for. Right, okay. I'll just quickly flick through these. These are a close up of the transmitters that were installed. That was one that was built by the post office staff. I love the clock in this one. Don't know when it was installed. Don't know who designed it. I don't know what the configuration.
You're not sharing it with us at the moment, Robert.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you for that. It's just a problem I've got with this this PC. It's making it very, very difficult to manage. Right, let me go there. Share. Not share. Right. Okay. You got that now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So sorry about that, guys. Sorry, incompetence here. That's one of the Marconi transmitters. There was two of these and one other, and this is all self tuning and it can be remotely controlled as well. So that was prior to those Marconi transmitters being installed. This was built, and that was replaced by the other one that is of unknown type, another Marconi one. But this was built in the 60s and survived for about 20 years until it was replaced by another Marconi transmitter. You've already seen that one, and that gives you a good indication of how the antenna, the VLF antenna, was actually hung from the mountain. Just a few. That was a harmonic generator that was built for the VLF site. Actually, this you've seen that one as well. It shows the tuning coils within the VLF building. That's and these are some of the power supply units that were installed in the VLF site. Circuit diagram. Don't know whether I can actually that if you could see it, if I could actually zoom, and I don't think I can zoom it. This actually is the floor plan of the building. There's the steps. There's the rest room. This is the transmitter hall here. Oh, it has actually increased it slightly. This is where I am at the moment, which is in the cellar or the boiler room. There's an air raid shelter there. There was a tool room there. These are all raised floor, and then outside at the back you've got fans and all sorts of transformers. All these rooms here are at ground level, and they flood, so you have to be very careful with them. This just to complicate things. This is one half of the VLF transmitter, the very last one that was actually installed, and you can actually see the mimic display here, and that mimic display went to Hack Green. So if you ever go to Hack Green in Nantwich, the bunker, I'm sure everybody's used the Hack Green SDR. They've actually got an identical one of these mimic displays, and this had three 250 kilowatt valves output stage pushing out 750 kilowatts. at 16 kilohertz, consuming well over a megawatt to actually. And what you actually get into the antenna is about 40 kilowatts of the power you actually do. This there's the valve store that you saw on the other one, and this shows you the original feed out from the VLF transmitter. This is pushing out, as I say, nearly 750 kilowatts into the antenna. Although what's actually radiated because of the inefficiency and the heat generated in the ground, that's how much you only get 40 kilowatts actually into the. It's so sensitive. This it's hang on a minute, see if I can move this. I should have used my other PC on this. This is. Hang on, let me just go back one. This just shows you going back 35 years now from one you've just seen. This was the very first transmitter that was installed in the VLF transmitter. So each of them had three output valves all in parallel, and this so in other words they're pretty well repeated, so that just shows you what it was looking like, and you can also see the lights there. If you remember what we saw in the LF building, these lovely Art Deco lamps, which I think are absolutely gorgeous. I'm trying to get hold of them, but they're really expensive. That's right. Let's see if I can now. I now need to. Things are getting on. So what I'm going to try and do now, I'm going to shut this down and very, very quickly go into the radio station and just give you a whistle-stop tour around the inside. I'll have to turn the lights on because it's actually getting quite dark here now. So if you just talk amongst yourselves, and I'll run my tablet up and have a quick look inside at the moment. It'll only take me a minute just to run up my tablet. So I'll just shut this down and log in on my tablet. So stand by. Talk amongst yourselves, and I'll just stop share here. Right. I'm just going to shut this down, and then I'll start up on my tablet. Right. Okay. So we're now. I'm not going to show you all of it. It didn't take too long, but I'm just going to give you a sort of like a guided tour. These are photographs that are actually some of them you've seen. Just if somebody walks into the radio, what we've basically got here is all this space here. All this space here was where the Type 22C was. So I'm just going to things of interest effectively, which are relevant to AM AOS. This is a nice piece of kit. This is a 100-watt AM transmitter, Rogen Schwartz, an SK 010. Really nice, works really well. 100 watt at the top here, VCO here, megahertz synthesizer here. A very, very peculiar way that they actually generate the megahertz, and this here is the power supply, which actually has 5 EL34s, which actually provide the stabilized power supply. All of our good friends RA1772. Don't need to announce. I've got several AR88s. That's quite a nice Collins, a Collins 390. This here behind, I've got 2 of these actually. I can't move this thing in front of it. It weighs a ton. This is an R28 Marconi SSB receiver with an RA17 on the top of it. We've got, if I just stand back a bit, this is the 500-watt version of the SK 010. This one's not working at the moment. I've got power supply problems. It has selenium rectifiers on the bottom, but you can see. So you've got You've got selenium rectifiers in the bottom. All the lamps there is the control unit. That is the same as the other one, which is the power supply, megahertz synthesizer, VCO and modulator, 25 watt driver amplifier, and the top is. And if I just move that over, it runs at just over 3,000 volts, the HT. So that's quite a nice piece of kit. CR100, rather uninspiring Edison. Valve testers, lots of military stuff. That's an R24 Marconi, which I've got bits more. Just old. A lot of this is audio stuff from one of my friends who's Silent Key now. I'm just giving you a sort of a whistle stop. Another R390. I've got to sort it out. One of my homebrew couple of 807s in a PA stage. What else have we got? Oh yeah, this is quite nice if you can see it, so that you can actually see it. If I do that, yeah. So this is a very well made transmitter, AM, built by Glyn Jones, G4. I think it was I think it was. It uses a pair of TT21s, so it gives out a carrier of about 150 watts. It uses a 250 watt modulator. The modulation transformer is here. Big mains transformer there for the HT, smoothing chokes, capacitors for the. And if you look at this side here, just gives you how complicated it is. Really, it runs really well, and I've paired it up with an R210 receiver. So I use this on the VMARS network. Another rather interesting piece of kit. Is a home. This is a homebrew. It's in 2 stories. Version which uses 1930s valves, crystal control. It's got a it actually like this is the audio level, modulation level, a green what do you call it, tuning indicator, and he wanted a bit more power, so he actually put a couple of 807s on it, and you can see the regulators. So I'm sure everybody is reasonably conversant with some of those components there. Just transverter, a 4-meter transverter, synthesizer, all sorts of bits of stuff. B40. That's quite an interesting piece of kit there. This is a military transmitter with 20 different tuning sections. It's just everything's in bits at the moment, unfortunately. This is a project with a couple of QV5500s. This unit is actually out of the substation that was at the back of the station. We've also got a collection of of radios as well, vintage radios and different styles. There's a nice little output valve for you. I've got a number of those that I'm hoping to actually get working. There's a band one VHF TV transmitter. Vision came from Oxford, somewhere in Oxford.
His audio is terrible.
Bench. I've got about 5 workbenches in here. A military transceiver, 10. This is my UPS system here. That's the ATU for it. It's a fairly substantial ATU. A vehicle, a 1 kilowatt. I'll just put this so you can actually see it. This is a 1 kilowatt wideband vehicle, 1860 with there's 8 125 watt linear amplifiers in it. Power supply at the bottom. That's a drive unit. It's an MA1720 drive unit. Below that is the ATU. Couple more. This is sort of the main work that I use with lots of hi-fi and stuff like that. This is the majority of my AM project. We've got all the bits there. Transmitter here. This is the a pulse width modulator. This is the what do they go and all the bits there ready to assemble onto this back onto this chassis. It's got displays down there, the liquid crystal display. Just rather a mix of old and new equipment, test equipment. And if you like radiograms, this is a beautiful radiogram that my friend had. It's an RGD made in Bridge North. Absolutely fabulous piece of kit. Absolutely gorgeous, and I've got several of these. What else have we got? 19 sets that I'm working on at the moment. You know, there's just stuff all over the place. Those modules on the top of that rack there are out of the post office tower. They're 2 gigahertz LOS links, old style. Amplifiers, audio equipment, more radios. You know, you could be here for ages. Oh, this is the other half of that R24 Marconi radio. Unfortunately, one of the modules, the South Manchester Amateur Radio Society lost their venue, and they gave me this, and they thought it was complete, but in actual fact, it wasn't. It had a couple of units missing. And a couple of extra units this is another quite a nice unit that we found made by it's a linear with a couple of TT21s that puts out a good 150 watt carrier, 200 watts, and is a really nice piece of kit. You know, a DBEG 400 watt AM transmitter. The receiver's on the other side somewhere. Where's the receiver? I'm not sure where it is. The receiver's about, and then domestic stuff. There's a Sholoren. That's quite a nice 4-inch tape. So that's that gives you a. This is quite my favourite radio. I'll take this off here. This is a 1936 radiogram, absolutely gorgeous. 1937 actually. Michael model 365, absolutely beautiful big kit. I've got two of these. Nice piece of furniture as well. But guys, I think I've taken up enough of your time. You've only seen a fraction of what's here. This is the mechanical workshop now. We're getting into and where I do all my drilling and filing and stuff like that. So that's pretty much a whistle stop guided tour of Criggion radio station. If I just show you that you can see the windows, the transmitter port central there. Actually see the skylight, and they smashed all the glass in it. There was over 100 panes of glass that I had to replace. So and this is work in progress. There's some plaster board that I need to install. This area, this low roof area in the back, block off and turn into another bedroom. But you can see that there's problems with the reinforced concrete as actually because they took all the lead out. It's got into the concrete. The reinforced steel has actually rusted and damaged the concrete. So it made a bit of a mess of it. And the only place that you've not seen now is hang on a second, turn the lights on. Is the bit that I was actually in. This floor is elevated, and then you go down the steps here into the boiler room. And if I turn the light on here. And this is the radio, the actual Radio Shack, where I was actually sitting with my PC. So, and if you look out of the window, you can actually see the hill. Unfortunately, you can't because of the lights reflecting back, but. That's pretty well it, Simon and gentlemen. It's a bit bitty, I know, but where I live now, if I just reverse this camera, how do we do this? Reverse the which is right.
There he is.
And you can see the problem with the ceiling as well in here. Look, it's the reinforcing is so close to the ceiling, and when it gets wet, it smashes the concrete. Although this is actually made out of 2,200 tons of concrete, so it's not going to fall down anytime soon. That concludes my little rather messy guided tour, guys. What do you think, Simon?
Oh, I think that's great. Really appreciate that, Robert. And I know that the Wi-Fi was cutting in and out a bit when you were giving the guided tour, but bearing with it, it was an absolute pleasure to see just the sheer volume of equipment you've got. So thank you. I hope you'd all join me in thanking Robert for giving his talk. I'm just going to stop recording. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask.